2012 Mayan apocalypse. The guys who invented this, like some of them, Terence McKenna was a main force behind this. You know, Jose Arguelles is probably more central, but Terence McKenna got into it. These guys were given their LSD and their DMT by the CIA and the MK Ultra mind control program. And whether this makes them dupes or makes them conscious agents of that attempt to totally remold society by flooding it with psychedelic drugs, which is what the CIA was up to, and is up to probably, because we're getting psychedelic research again in universities since the 90s. You know, that's what they were up to, and I don't know, you know, whether Terence McKenna or Jose Arguelles or the other people who came up with the 2012 thing are honest or dishonest, whether they're agents or whether they're just deluded. But the truth is, you know, 2012, there are many different versions of the Mayan calendar, and this is one uncertain version from one place that was developed into this mythology. And, you know, if one looks at this as a mass social engineering experiment, it becomes very interesting. I was involved in the first phase of this, which was harmonic convergence back in 1987. You know, that was my first and last appearance as a New Age teacher, and I led a retreat on Mount Tamalpais in Marin County, California, for harmonic convergence. So we all got together, and we were going to shift the paradigm, you know, of the world and bring in the New Age and all of this. And then nothing much happened. But the interesting thing is, they said, well, but the real thing's going to happen 25 years from today, which is now this year, quarter of a century. And so everybody involved in harmonic convergence, which was people all around the world, set their sights in 25 years, the next big thing's going to happen. And if this was a mind control or, you know, or a social engineering experiment, how ingenious, how powerful. Millions of people, you know, have their aspirations pointed toward 2012, you know, over a period of 25 years. And you just listen to, I forget, you know, the title's in my book, but it's whatever the 2012 documentary with Jeff Stray in it. And Jeff Stray is talking about, well, you know, the CIA remote viewers, man, looked into the future, and they couldn't look beyond 2012, man, because that's when something real weird was going to happen. And you know, and they saw that the human population was really seriously reduced. And he's telling us what the CIA remote viewers said. This is this not naked propaganda, naked mind control for people who are not smart enough to realize that they're being manipulated? He must be pretty certain there's an awful lot of people who are not smart enough. This is what Michael Hoffman calls revelation of the method. Sometimes the mind controllers, the social engineers, come right out and tell you what they're doing. And if you accept that and don't say, what? The CIA is telling us this? Hey, if they don't say that, then they got you. They really got you after that. After that, you will swallow anything. So I would suggest that anybody who's going to be doing some picnic or barbecue or a trip to Yucatan or whatever on 2012 should really pay attention to the weeks preceding it and to whatever events happen on that date and perhaps slightly after that date, and see if we aren't being sold some kind of bill of goods through this. Now, the purpose of this kind of thing is to break down the paradigm of a given society, which has been in our society of Judeo-Christianity, which has pretty well been broken down, and put in a concocted mythology that people will start to believe in. Even if they don't give it, their heart and soul, at least they'll believe in it enough for it to undermine their belief in a true God, a religion that has been revealed by God, and that's been the basis of Western civilization for 2,000 years. It's a conscious attempt to destroy Christian, Jewish, possibly Islamic belief, depending upon who buys the 2012 mythology. And once our basic beliefs and traditions are destroyed, they can tell us anything, and we will believe it because we have no history, no background, no culture, no civilization, no understanding of the way life is and the way the universe is that's been developed over thousands and millions of years of human history. All that's been wiped clean, and they can pour into the void whatever they wish. That's what I think 2012 is all about, and I've got some very interesting items in my book that back up this contention. So I'm not going to give it all to you in the video. You got to buy the book if you really want to know. And then you have the interfaith movement, and I want to say, interfaith movement is filled with a lot of good people who have only the best intentions. What they want is peace between religions, mutual understanding between religions, and this is only good. I mean, this is obviously a good thing. But if you check out who is supporting, funding the interfaith movement in many instances, it's the globalists. It's the State Department. It's the big globalist think tanks. It's people who do not necessarily believe in God. So if they don't believe in God, why are they so interested in religion? One word, control. The amount of control and surveillance and infiltration that's been being exercised over the world religions and even over esoteric spiritual groups by the powers that be, partly through certain aspects of the interfaith movement. If you get an idea of how big that is, it will blow your mind. They want to control the religions because through the religions they can control the populations. I phoned, the other day I decided I was going to phone the Council on Foreign Relations because sometimes I just like to shoot the breeze with the receptionist and see what I can turn up, and then we talked. And I just started talking about this stuff, yap. William Burroughs said, you learn more about somebody by talking than by listening. So I talked, but I also did listen. And the receptionist kept saying, well, the lady kept saying, well, of course I cannot, comment officially on anything she said because, blah, blah. And I said, I understand, you can't do that. I don't expect you to. But what was interesting is at one point she referred to the world's religions as constituencies. And there you have it in a nutshell. She, the Council on Foreign Relations and whoever is behind them and whoever is behind them, is the government. That's the authority. And we, poor people who just happen to believe in God in the Islamic form or the Christian form or the Hindu form, we're the constituencies. We're the voters. And I suppose we voted the Council on Foreign Relations into existence, at least by default, and they are running us. So this move to place the religions under, to federate them under a non-religious authority is the destruction of every single religion, the destruction of, the autonomy of the religions. Finally, the doctrines will have to be tailored in order to, to correspond to a global ethic. And, agents from, the globalist elites are just flooding the religions now. Nobody realizes this. People think, if somebody's interested in you and they want to help and they say, we love your interfaith movement or we like your religion, or with Sufism, with me. The Sufis are beautiful, they're tolerant, they're peaceful. We want to support you and, come to our conferences and do this and do that. And so many people say, oh, we're getting recognized too much. We're, finally, we're not just marginalized people, that nobody believes in. The real people, like the Council on Foreign Relations believes in us, man. And people are so naive. I hate to say it. Jesus put it this way. He said, the children of this world are wiser in their generation than the children of light, which means even in Jesus' time, the danger was that you have idealistic religious flakes who can't see what's going on in the real world. Even Jesus understood this danger. And man, are we getting manipulated? Are we ever getting duped? It's so widespread and so, no one ever notes it or speaks against it. So I decided I would note it and speak against it. So that's some of the stuff that's in my book. I'll show it again. Vectors of the Counter-Initiation, the Course and Destiny of Inverted Spirituality. There you have the Tower of Babel. In my opinion, the Tower of Babel was an early attempt at globalism. But God stopped it. Okay? So, buy my book.